All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Friday 15. So very quickly, what is the Friday 15? Well, every Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time, we go ahead, we take 15, sometimes 20 minutes to answer the questions that you have submitted directly from the industry. If you do have any questions you would like to submit, or if you want to go back and watch past episodes, please go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. We also, as you know, bring on many special guests. So it's such a fun way to end the week. So I am super excited to welcome Meredith from Gifted Travel Network. Hi, Meredith.
Hi everyone. So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and today we're actually going to try to get through 4 questions. So this is a special one. We typically can only get through 3, so we're going to see how we go. But before we jump in, I very quickly want to let you know Gifted will actually be back with us on September 24th. So that's a Wednesday. And they're going to be hosting a webinar on Beyond Breaking Even. So they'll focus on one logical solution that can multiply your income without working more hours or just simply selling more. So Abby's going to link that for you in the comments. So if you'd like to go and register, please do. That's going to be on September 24th. We are also going to link Hardwired, which is our tech week coming up in a few weeks. And we have Sandy from the wonderful Gifted Travel Network coming back to join us. She will be hosting an entire feature session. So you definitely don't want to miss that. The entire schedule is going live in about an hour. So stay tuned, save that link so that you can see the entire schedule for the 4 days. But without further ado, Meredith, you ready for the first question?
Go for it. I am ready.
Amazing. Okay, so this is a question we get a lot. So Zach submitted, I am in the process of forming an LLC for a travel agency based in California. However, I do not currently have a seller of travel license. I was wondering if host agencies allow the ICs, so essentially that are members of that host, to operate under their seller of travel licenses.
It's a really good question, and it's a really good time to be looking into that when you're just starting. Yes, most host agencies will offer the ability to be included in their seller of travel license for California, provided that you meet the exemption criteria. Specifically, the exemption criteria is that you need to be a single or solo LLC owner. If you have multiple people on the LLC, you would not qualify for the exemption. And so as long as you are a solo LLC owner, you can qualify for the exemption. Having said that, we recommend at Gifted Travel Network that if you live in California and you have a lot of clients that live in California, that you go ahead and get your own seller of travel license so that you can charge your clients a service fee.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree. We speak to that in our article about seller of travel licenses. You know, we cover California, Zach, among other states as well, because it's not just about where your business is based. It's also the clients that you're selling to and where they live. So we'll link that article too, which pretty much speaks to everything that you just said, Meredith, and then gives you some even more detail. But also, Zach, if you want to go get your own license, we'll link and gives you actual directions on how to get through the process.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I agree. Yeah. I'd say go get your own license. Just absolutely.
I know it's a pain, but once you do it, it's done.
Exactly. Yeah. What's that? The short-term pain for long-term gain.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Second question. This one I found very interesting. So Diana asks, as a travel advisor, and I want a niche focus on last minute travel, or should a travel advisor focus on last minute travel?
I love this question too, because I'm a marketing guru. And for me, niching is all about marketing. It's a marketing strategy. We talk about really much more than niching, and we teach our advisors to go much deeper than niching and really to start with a core compelling message that's based in your brilliance. And as a marketing expert, and I've been teaching marketing to travel advisors for 15 years, I don't think specializing in last minute travel is a good idea at all. I think it's putting yourself in direct competition with the online booking engines, and that is what they do best. And there are many things that a travel advisor can do that are way better or way more that can distinguish yourself from an online booking engine, but last minute travel is not one. So I think it's not a good idea. And instead, what I would do is really get clear on what your brilliance is. Why do you have a passion for travel in the first place, right? And there's a reason why you have a passion for travel. Figure out what your brilliance is. Figure out who needs that brilliance most. And that's the target market you should be going after. You know, as a travel advisor, there's a lot of, and just generically, there's a lot of value that travel advisors add. We are project managers. Think about when you renovate a home. We're the designer, we're the architect of the itinerary. We're also sequencing the project in a way that makes sense, that's easy, that times perfectly. And last but not least, we're connecting our clients with providers that they may not have access to, who can open doors, who can create experiences that they can't find online. I would be really honing in on those three things as to why and how you provide value, rather than trying to compete with something that, quite honestly, artificial intelligence can do what better.
Yeah, I am in 100% agreement. Actually, one of the points that I had written down was you have less marketing leverage, right? It's harder to create proactive campaigns or content or group trips, better yet, if you want to get more into groups, because this model is depending on some unpredictable and spontaneous travel windows.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Diana, I wouldn't focus on it. Great question. We do have an article we'll link about finding a travel niche and how you can go about looking for that. With last minute travel, I feel there's like, for me, the big thing is, you know, we look at like client loyalty as well. And for me, this doesn't necessarily build that client loyalty. Last minute clients are more transactional versus that relationship, which is why you would compete with the OTAs and with AI and all of that. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one last little plug for me. I have a podcast where I interview people, and almost every single interview, they are talking about their niche and what they're specializing in and who their target market is. So if you're looking for ideas, check out my podcast, The Travel Business Unpacked. It's on any streaming platform, podcast streaming platform, to get some ideas and hear real live stories of people finding success in a niche.
I'll second plug that, if that's definitely not the way to say it. I've listened to the podcast, and I'm telling you now, it really is great, Diana, and anyone else who's listening, to listen to these advisors who are so incredibly successful, but how they are very focused on niche. And actually,
and they're very real and they're very open. You know, they're willing to just kind of open the book and let you in on their world and how they found their success.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in our annual report from last year, we always ask, we had over 2,000 advisors respond last year, and we asked them if they have a niche. 85% of them had a niche, and 93% of them said they would choose the exact same niche if they went back and did it again. So
that's good.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, Diana, too, that tells you, you know, and everyone else, you know, how important that choosing a niche, but that a lot of them really felt comfortable with where they went and continue to go down that path. So yeah. All right. Third question. You ready for this one?
Yes.
I keep saying I love the question. I really do love all these questions. What do you think is the most valuable certification? The Travel Institute offers the CTA, CLIA has certifications, my consortium, my host, you know, all offer different certifications. Are there any you recommend completing prior to seeking out being part of a host, or is there any that are more important than others? What do you think about that one?
So this is a question where I wish the person asking the question was here, because I actually would start with a question, back to the question. And the question that I would go back to is, or come back with, is why are you wanting to get a certification? If you're wanting to get a certification to fill an education gap that you feel like you don't have, that's one reason. If you're looking to get a certification because you think it'll help you attract more clients, that's another reason. And if that's the reason why you're looking to get a certification, I don't think you need to get one. And the reason why is your client doesn't know and doesn't care if you have letters after your name. So if it's coming from like, I have a client attraction problem place, then you're looking in the wrong place. If you have a client attraction place, get education on how to attract clients the right way and more effectively. If you're looking at it from an educational gap perspective, then we believe it never hurts to get more information. Like if you sell cruises, getting CLIA certifications is never, ever going to hurt. But what I have found, and I actually think it's one of the biggest conundrums in the travel industry, it creates a real problem for travel advisors, is that we have such a low barrier to entry. So, you don't need to be licensed. You don't need a certification. You don't need any kind of degree to start a travel agency. But building a thriving, sustainable business that affords you a life that you love is a whole different story than just becoming a travel agent. And what we believe and why we focus so much on business guidance is that what you really need is entrepreneurial education. And so, I'm not going to, recommend one over the other. What I would say is, if that makes you feel better about, confidence in one kind of travel, go for it. But if what you're really feeling a hunger for is entrepreneurial education, I would be looking for that and seeking that out. At Gifted Travel Network, we have Travel Business University, which is a benefit that every single advisor in our network has access to. It is business guidance, it is coaching, it is mentoring, and it is a collaborative community where you can really lean into the wisdom and expertise of everybody else in the network. So that is, I think, how we distinguish ourselves from others. But we don't offer a certification either. And we believe that, business education and business guidance should be given to those no matter where they are on their entrepreneurial journey. Like, you always should have access to it. Even when you're a top producer selling $5 million a year, we still give our top producers access to it.
Yeah, I think what's so beautiful and what can also be so tough is that there are either so many certifications or training programs out there for all of us in the industry. But it doesn't mean, it's just like every piece of technology that's out there. It doesn't mean that you need it, right? And so exactly like you said, it's, pick and choose what makes sense for you and what your niche is, what you want to focus on in terms of like that product knowledge or that travel knowledge. But I love what you said. I didn't even, to think about like that entrepreneurial spirit. And I mean, of course, I'm going to go ahead and plug away like our 7-day setup course. So we have one course, but it's about setting up your business, right? Things to consider when actually setting up your business. So before you even get to the certifications, right? Why choose why be an entrepreneur, like, solo versus partnership versus LLC? What are the differences? So
very important question,
right? So see what's out there. Always do your research, see what's out there. You'll also find, just like your university, a lot of hosts have wonderful programs set up where you can see what's available and pick and choose what makes the most sense for you in terms of, your education. We'll also link our blog around travel agent certifications so that you can all see what's out there. It does not mean you should do all of them. We're educating you on what is out there. And then you make decisions on what makes the most sense for you in your business, for sure.
Perfect.
All right, last question. This one I find very interesting, and I don't think we've ever been asked anything like this before. So I'm really intrigued for your response. So final question, can an agency change your commission level without notifying you or sending you a new contract? Shouldn't there be some type of agreement or acknowledgement from the host before that happens? Then, what if a host changes to monthly fees? Again, shouldn't there be communication around changes? I would say specifically, let's talk about commissions specifically. My partner and I are experiencing this right now and could use some advice. And this is from Anonymous.
Okay. So I'm going to preface my answer with, this is really a legal question, and I am not a legal expert at all. And so I would recommend, if a course of action could be actually getting legal advice with this question. So if you are with a host agency, you are a contractor, you are an independent contractor, so you should have a contract. And so I would imagine that changes in commission structure or going from no fee to monthly fee is some kind of change in the contract. And in the contract, it's going to talk about notification periods for when they make changes like that. So I would recommend you look at your contract. I don't know what's included in your contract. So number one, I would look at your contract. What does it say in the contract about that? And then number two, if you're unhappy, just change host. You're not an employee. And I realize that changing host might result in leaving money on the table. But again, what money you're leaving on the table is going to be defined by your contract. And if you didn't notice that in your contract when you signed it, now you will notice something like, like what are they entitled to pay you if you do leave? That's just a lesson learned, is looking for the provisions of that in your contract the next time you sign one.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We're going to link to, we have a list in our blog of travel lawyers. So if there is someone that you do want to speak to, I completely agree with you, Meredith, that absolutely speak to someone. And something that I think I've heard you say, and I've heard so many in this industry say, read your contracts very closely.
Yes.
Go through it with a fine-tooth comb. This is your business after all.
Yeah.
And make sure that you understand and you are comfortable. I always say, if something's changing, go back and speak to your host first, right? There may be some miscommunication or something like that. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, like I said, we'll link the list to travel lawyers that you can absolutely go and get some legal advice from, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, before we let everybody go, I'm going to put the two most important links into the comments. And when I say me, I mean the wonderful Abby is going to do that. And that is Gifted Travel's directory on host agency reviews. So if you have any specific questions you want to ask Meredith or the team at Gifted, please feel free. You can submit them straight through their profile on host agency reviews. We're also going to link directly to Gifted Travel Network so that you can go check them out, ask questions if you're interested in joining. We're going to link both of those for you as well. So what do we have coming up in the next few weeks? Next week, we have Lavarte Travel joining us September 19th to answer more questions. To round out September, Nexion will be joining us at the end of the month. Then we have Vacation Planners October 3rd and Travel Industry Solutions on October 10th, right before we get into Hardwired, which we're really excited about. And again, Gifted will be back for that as well. And just a friendly reminder, if you have questions like you heard today and you would like to submit more, please go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15 to submit more of your questions, and we'll be happy to answer. I know that we will have you back, Meredith, I'm telling you right now, we're bringing you back. You ready?
Happy to do it.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us this week, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me.